Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Today's flavor is coconut crumble again. It's going to be 55 degrees and partly cloudy. So maybe I'll get outside and finish up the garden. There's not too much more to do. I have some kale, some perpetual spinach, and some chard to cut back. There's still some celery out there, and there's also some cauliflower leaves, greens, that you can also use for making soups or stir fries. So I didn't get much in the way of cauliflower. In fact, I didn't get any cauliflower this year, so next year I won't be growing that. I did have a little bit of success with some cabbage, but the cabbage moths ate most of it, so that was my fault. I should have covered it up, but I didn't. So I may try growing a couple of heads again of that, but I'm not sure. I'm going to just stick to the basics when it comes to gardening next year. Lettuce. I'll definitely plant that perpetual spinach again, which is actually a form of chard. And kale. I'll plant peppers, the green onions, but the brassicas I'm not going to plant. That just wasn't worth the effort. And then, of course, you know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I'm going to do the sowing, the winter sowing. That's what it is. But even that, I'm going to do on a small scale, so I don't have so many plants that I don't know what to do with. That's the only drawback that I could see to the winter sowing, because you don't know how many seeds are going to come up. So since you plant them in a gallon baggie, it's kind of hard to tell how many seeds you put in there and what the germination rate will be. But we'll see. I brought in a couple of sprigs, well, more than a couple, of rosemary, and I'll be rooting some of those over the winter. And quite a few green tomatoes that I think I'm just going to pickle. So, all right, let's put a little cream in the coffee. All right. So we're going to be getting fiber optic next week, and it's cheaper than the cable. Actually, it's quite a bit cheaper. The cable, my grandson pays part of, and we've been paying $130 for that, which is really expensive. I need it for my YouTube uploads, and he needs it because he works from home some days. So, but the fiber optic is going to cost us $80. Or was it 85? Well, somewhere around that area. And it's supposed to be quicker too, so we'll see. They laid the fiber optic cables all summer long all around our little town here. So if we don't like it, we'll go back to something else. All right, let's give the coffee a taste. Cheers. Yep, that's very tasty. So my daughter is supposed to come over today and help my grandson organize his stuff in the basement a little bit. When they moved, he put a lot of things in boxes, which have ended up in my spare bedroom down there. And so he needs to go through some of his belongings and purge some of those too, so that we get a little bit of breathing room. here in the house. So in between his purging some things, me purging some things, making the house more accessible to the things we need, and not having to root through boxes and go through, climb up attic stairs, and just making everything easy to get to. So, and since he works from home down there sometimes, he usually goes in, but usually maybe once a week he gets a day where he works from home. So he needs that space nice and neat. Now the area that doesn't have the storage boxes is fine, but that's also where I have my food stash that I have to organize a little better. It is organized, but it needs work. So anyway, that's the plan. And I'm not going to record him doing his purging because I feel that would be disrespecting his privacy. So it's okay to share my things, but I don't like to share other people's things. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and drink my coffee, and then I will meet you at the budget book. All right, back at the budget book. So yesterday I stayed home. I didn't spend any money. I spent my time taking care of things I already had in the house here and in the garden. So that's a good practice in my opinion, just taking care of the things you already have and stop spending money on things you don't already have and that potentially you may not even need. In my case, a lot of the things I don't need are clothes, even though I do buy a piece here and there. I don't need any kitchen things. I don't need to buy any food right now, although I am running low on fresh food. But I guess Aldi's is going to be having a sale next week on butter and things like that. So I will stock up on that. And I do want to get some avocados that they have on sale this week. So picking up a little bit of fresh produce. I still have a little bit of greens in the garden that I can eat. But other than that, the only thing I have right now in the way of fresh produce, I have carrots and I have apples and I have a very large zucchini that I grew in the garden. So that could all potentially last me for another week, week and a half. But I'm planning on going more to frozen vegetables and fruits for the winter time anyway. I may go back to buying some flash food boxes, but I found that lately, for a while there, I was getting flash food all the time, but lately, flash food has gotten expensive, and it's also, they don't have a whole lot of the produce boxes going on. They have like mayonnaise that's almost expired and just things like that. And so the last few times I checked the app, now ours here is either through Giant Eagle or Meijer. Meijer is not close to me. It's out where Costco is. But I could, potentially do a Costco run and a Meijer run. But anyway, the last few times I checked their app, they really didn't have anything I was interested in. And then, of course, with that app, you have to have the time to preserve some of the food. If you get a box of fruits and veggies, sometimes they have mixed boxes, sometimes it's either or. But they're not the freshest anymore. They're coming close to the time where you're not going to be able to use them. But if you preserve them, either freezing or canning, whatever it is you do, or dehydrating, then, it's worth it. But I really didn't feel like there was anything that I wanted or needed the last few times I checked the app. But that could change over the winter because every day they have different things that they put out on sale. But I was finding some of the things that were older shelf-stable things were not the cheapest. I'd rather spend the extra 75 cents and get something a little fresher. But anyhow, that's my take on the flash foods for now. So unless they change that back, then I may or I may not, use that for some fresh produce. So anyway, today I don't plan on going anywhere. There's nothing that I need to go out for. I may go pick up those avocados on Monday, maybe before, because I do have that procedure going on here. So I may pick up those avocados there because Wednesdays Aldi's comes out with their new flyer. So that's my plan for the budget book and my spending. It's been a long time since I went grocery shopping, and that's fine. I saved up enough money to pay the handyman, and I got my window paid for, so that was good. So you can save a lot of money cutting back on food, and a lot of us, we waste a lot of food. So I'm trying to cut way down on my food waste and try and use up everything that I can and not overbuying to begin with. So anyway, that's been working pretty well for me so far. Let me know what you do in the comments below to save money on food. We can all use some tips with these crazy prices, and they're only going to be getting worse from what I hear. So I hope you all have a food stash that you can rely on and you don't have to go shopping or you're out of food. So, okay, I will be back in a little bit. Right, well, it's still morning and I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do today. So I have all this produce that I got from the garden, and I have some more greens out there that I want to harvest within the next couple days before they freeze. So I've been looking through, and this is what I'm going to do with all the food that I have left in my fridge. So I had an empty notebook, and I had rearranged my kitchen a little bit, got a new little cubby cabinet for some of my little kitchen doodads, and the cabinet I had in there I put in the other room. And I made a video of what I did the other day, so if you want to see that, you can check that out. But so now all my notebooks are in the same spot, and there's cooking notebooks in there, and I have a lot of recipes. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. So over the years, I've gathered different recipes for seitan, and they're all vegan and vegetarian. But if there's let's say a beef recipe that I like the ingredients, I'll convert that over to a vegetarian version of it, and it works out just fine. So I'm not vegan, I'm vegetarian, so I do eat eggs and dairy. But anyway, I'm getting off the subject here. So anyway, I had an empty notebook, and I pulled that out, and then what I did was, Thanksgiving is coming up, so as I was looking through some of the recipes, I came up with a couple of recipes for Thanksgiving for a vegan turkey-ish gravy and a turkey roast and a pumpkin dump cake. What else? So I was just pulling out some recipes that I thought would save me some time down the road, and I would have some recipes to, I'm thinking we're probably going to do Thanksgiving at my daughter's, but even if we have it here, I'll have some vegetarian recipes that I can count on. So I have all these recipes now, just current ones that I want to be making here in this recipe book. Now in my fridge, I have a lot of carrots that I bought for $1 at Mark's a while back. Now carrots last a long time, but I do want to start using those up. So I found a recipe for carrot soup. I have a zucchini in there. It's a good size one. I found a recipe for zucchini bacon, and I found a recipe for tomato, zucchini, and potato soup. And I have all those ingredients. So that would be enough to make me several meals. I could go another 2 weeks without shopping, just using up the few things that I have. So I'm pulling out recipes to go with what I already have in the fridge, freezer, and pantry. And that's how I do my meal plans. I cook off from the ingredients I have. I don't make a recipe and then go buy the ingredients. I do it the opposite way. And that enables me to go a long time without shopping because I have recipes available that I know I'll like. And one of them, for instance, is a lemongrass seitan. And if you don't know what seitan is, it's a vegan, vegetarian meat substitute made from flour, from the gluten in flour. Now, if you're gluten intolerant, that would not be for you at all. But anyway, I had grown some lemongrass in the garden, and I was thinking, well, what am I going to do with this? So I already had a recipe for lemongrass seitan that I want to try. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. And I also want to do a little reading out of this 101 Ways to Simplify Your Life by Candy Paul. And today we're on the 3rd day of the book. So anyway, the subject for today is remember that less is more. And it says here, this is by C.S. Lewis, a saying. It says, every time you make a choice, you are turning the central part of you, the part that chooses, into something a little different than it was before. So, sorry, my eyes are just dry and I'm having a little problem focusing. So anyway, it says, evaluate your possessions and activities. Decide what you need to eliminate so you are free to focus on what's most essential and meaningful to you. Makes perfect sense. If you're always doing things you don't want to do or that you have to do because you've overburdened yourself, you don't have time left to do the things that you really want to do. So that makes sense. So you purge all the things that you really don't want to do, that no longer have meaning to you, that no longer serve your purpose, and that way you can incorporate more things that you actually enjoy doing, and it brings more joy into your life. So it goes on to say, when asked how he carved beautiful elephants from blocks of stone, a famous Indian sculptor replied that he just chipped away everything that wasn't an elephant. I've heard that saying before. Look at what you do and what you own. Ask yourself, is this essential? Does this thing or activity enhance my life? Is this necessary? Or is it clutter that hinders and hampers me? That's a good question to ask yourself. Pruning overgrown bushes allows more light into a house. Having less of what you don't want frees you to concentrate more on what you do want. Clear time in your calendar for prayer and planning. Create space in your surroundings by eliminating that which no longer serves you. And that's a practice that I started from day one. In the morning when I wake up, I don't get up right away. It's not constant boots on the ground. I just lay there and think about things, and I answer my YouTube viewers' comments. I go and look on Facebook to see if any new members want to join our Facebook group. And we have about 250 members now over in the Facebook group. So it has the same name as my YouTube channel, Ellen's Abundant Life on Less. There's a page which is public that you can follow, but there's also a group which is private that you send a request to join, and then I will let you in. So anyway, a lot of nice people on the Facebook group. You can share your photos of your pets, of yourself, of your family, of your friends, activities that you do. You can add little video clips, your garden, your hobbies. You can do all those things over on the Facebook group. So if you have a mind to, come on over and join us there. So YouTube and Facebook, they keep me pretty busy, not only making the videos, but I enjoy interacting with my viewers. I really enjoy that a lot. So leaving some comments always makes me happy, and it also helps my channel grow if you leave a comment, even if it's just an emoji or a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or viewing the entire video and watching the commercials. I know, not the most fun thing, but all that helps my channel grow, and it pushes the algorithm out to, those suggestions that you see, that you watch. The more comments and likes and time watched that I get, the more the algorithm will push out my video content. So anyway, I've been doing fine with that. You guys have really been supportive of me with that, and I really appreciate every single one of you. I really do. I love this community. It's full of such nice people, and I couldn't be happier. So anyway, that's my day, and I hope the reading of Simplifying Your Life has helped. But in the mornings, I was starting to say, see, I get sidetracked, that I use that time that I wake up early before I actually get out of bed to say a prayer and request that God helps me to make good decisions during the day, to help me organize my day in order to get things done, whatever His mission is for me for that day. I ask for that to come into my life, and I think it's really helpful. So that's my opinion. I know other people have other opinions, and it even works if you whatever you decide you want to worship. So anyway, so I really need to do something with this stuff. Got a lot of green onions there yesterday. I got green tomatoes. I got a few little eggplants, which I also pulled a recipe out for. What else did I get in there? A couple little teeny tiny cabbages that was like the heart of it, that the cabbage moths didn't eat up. Like I said, if I plant those next year, I will definitely cover them up because they were doing beautifully. And then all of a sudden, it was like maybe a mouse or something or a chipmunk went in there, but the whole half the cabbage was eaten up. So that's nature for you. Sometimes it can be frustrating, but I'm always of the mindset that nature and animals have just as much right to live on this earth as we do, and we have been entrusted to be the custodians of the earth. That's my feeling, and I think we need to do a good job with that. So, okay, I will be back later, and I will be back to wrap things up. So it's always overwhelming to me when I have big buckets of stuff. These green onions were just huge. So I've got a lot of green onions going on here, so now I have to find some recipes to use them. But what I'm doing is I'm cutting all the long roots off. Alright, so this is what the onion looks like. Very dirty. And this is the roots. So all I'm doing is cutting these off short, like this, and then cleaning them. So I've got quite a few onions in here, but this is also long. So this part I'm all cutting off and either cooking or dehydrating it. So that's what I'm doing with my green onions. And then I'm just taking off this outer layers. There we go. And I'll have some more green onions. All right. You can get a lot of mileage out of green onions. There we go. And making them shorter. Now these will go in a glass of water, so I'll continue to have more green onions, fresh. So that's how I'm handling that. Then I have a ton of rosemary, a lot of green onions that are tomatoes that probably won't turn red. I've got a couple of dried up purple beans. And then I finally cut all the stuff off of this lemongrass. And I've grown lemongrass in the past, but I've never actually used it. So I don't quite know what to do with it. So if you guys know, leave a comment below and let me know. I know it's used a lot in Asian cooking. But like I said, these green onions are humongous. I can hardly get them out of the bucket. So what I'm doing, because these are so long, I'm cutting them in sections, and then I'm going to use some in a recipe. I want to make a green onion soup. Not today. And then I also want to dehydrate some. And then I'll use it as onion powder. It'll be a mild onion powder. Okay, so that's what I'm doing this morning, trying to do something with all this rosemary and green onion. So, yeah, that green onion, you know, for $1 something that I bought from the grocery store and then planted, I really got a lot of miles out of that. I'll probably have enough green onion to last me the rest of the year. All right, that's what I'm up to. Well, okay, I had a very busy day today. My daughter came over and she and my grandson cleaned up the basement. He had a lot of old boxes down there from when he was a kid, and so she was here a good couple of hours. So now we have a lot of garbage to drag out this week and a lot of laundry to do. So, but anyway, I'm pooped. I had to do all those onions and produce and stuff, but I came up with some recipes that I want to make. I think I'm going to make a green tomato relish out of the green tomatoes, and then there's a couple of soups that I want to make, and just to use up that produce and what I have left over, I'm going to freeze and or dehydrate. So I will be very happy when the garden is finished this year and I don't have to deal with a lot of produce and a lot of gardening and watering. So that's one thing I am looking forward to this winter, is a little bit more calm, and hopefully I can get my house in order and kind of relax a little bit this winter. At least that's my goal. Have to wait and see if that materializes. So, all right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Thanks for watching.